one of your classmates has decided to torment me with a really difficult question. Actually, it's not that hard, but he wanted to know, based on the way that we coded, or I coded in the video, the book division in the cell site, why does he experience column drop? Let me show you what that is. First of all, we're going to visit the Wikipedia's real cell site, and we will notice that as I resize this page, this book division has text that squishes in real nice. And another thing that we'll notice is that this orange stripe continues to expand, and the book is always centered vertically in the division. Alright, so let's contrast and compare. Here is your the site the way that we built it, and one of your classmates built it. And watch what happens to that book division. We squish in a little bit and it drops. Okay, now I gave you this solution to this book division in the video as a possible solution. Now, it's not the only solution, and here's the thing. In the real world, you experience something like this no matter who taught you what, whether it's right or wrong. I mean, you got to test it, right? And so y'all did follow my instructions, and it looks like you built it the way that I asked you to, and it just doesn't work. So we have to go for another method. Now, I'm not going to explain fully this other method, but I just want to show you another possible solution for getting that book division to work correctly. So I'm going to go into Dreamweaver, and I've already worked this up, and I'm not going to go through all the steps, but here's what it would look like. And if I F12 it to move this into view, you can see that as I squish everything, it behaves very similarly to what we have in Wikipedia. So how is this done? Here is the dealio. Let's look at first the HTML. And if you want to, you could stop this video now and you could copy this right off the screen. That would be fine with me. But I have a div book. It's a book division around the entire, well, everything for that book division. That's just the main division. Then I decided to do a div book wrapper. The reason I did that is so that I could introduce a background image that has a picture of the book in it. And inside of that is a text wrapper. This text wrapper goes around all of the text. So it's all of this code right here. And then I did my individual spans for the first line of text, and here's for the second line of text, and here's for that little January 2010 piece of text, okay? So what I would do is study this. You could stop the video now and actually study what I've done here and mock this up yourself. Okay, but you need to wrap it with all these different containers because you need to apply some stuff that we don't know yet. So this is a little bit advanced. Alright, and I'll tell you the things that you didn't currently know. Look at what I had to do in this div book division. Alright, I already showed you that you could make the width of it 80%. And I put a 0 top and bottom margin on it and auto left and right, and what that will do is center my book division inside of the page or whatever container it's in. Okay, the auto is what does that. It's auto left and right margins. Then, and this is different, I didn't show you this before, background image. So what I did is I created an orange stripe GIF. And let's look at that real quick. You can do this in Fireworks or Photoshop or whatever image editing application. you choose, but I created a 10 pixel wide by 500 pixel tall GIF image. So that's what it looks like right there. Just this tall, long image. And you're thinking, well, how can that possibly fit in that little, 100 or 65 pixel tall division? Well, it doesn't. I made some changes. But I'm using a background image, okay, to do the orange stripe instead of a division this time. Background repeat. I don't want to repeat my orange stripe across the page. I don't want it to tile. So I have to do this background repeat. We didn't know that before. And then there's a new property called background position. So once you've applied a background image, you can position that background image inside of the division. Okay, and I positioned it over to the left. Okay, and then border, I added a border for my book division, and I changed the font inside of all of this division to Arial. Okay, now here's my div book wrapper. Let's see what that is. It is a division. That's really not a good way to look at it. It's just a division inside of the main division, and the only reason that I have it there is so that I can put this book as a background image for that division. So let's look at the cascading style sheet code for it. Okay, look at what I did. Background image. There's my book. Okay, so instead of dumping the image right into the division, I'm using it as a background image. Look at what I have to do. Background repeat, don't repeat it. And then background position, I have to move it around a little bit. So this 1M refers to how far from the left, and then the center is what do I do vertically. So the 1M is really horizontally. What do I do? And center is vertically. So horizontal and center. When I do background position, it's always in that order. Horizontal value first and then center. What I'm doing is pushing it over from the left 1M, or one of the current text heights. Okay, so 1M. And then I center it vertically up and down. And so that's what causes it to stay in the middle. It's centered vertically when I squish in. See how it moves down? It's always centered vertically, and it's 1M over from the left-hand side. Okay, let's look at some more code here. Then I have a text wrapper. This is a division that goes around all of that text, and then around each part of the text I put spans. Okay, so those are little containers around individual text items. So this is a text wrapper for all of my text. Alright, I did a margin left, 80 pixels. Let's see why. Because I needed it to move over from the left, I need it to move right a certain distance. And just from playing with it, I could, when I put in 80 pixels, it looks about right. So all this text gets forced over right from the edge, from the left edge, and toward the right, 80 pixels. I decided to do a margin right, that's over here on the right hand side, just so that when I squished everything in, my text did not hit up against my border. That's what the purpose of the margin right is, 1M. Padding top, I wanted to move it down a little bit, and padding bottom, I wanted to create some space here between the bottom of the text and the border. Okay, next. Book text 1, so that would refer to this first line of text here. Okay, I've got a span around it. I know that's really hard to follow, but there's a span around that first line of text. All I did was set the font size to 0.85M. You could have set it in pixels, it doesn't matter. Okay, pixels, M's. Margin top, 0.5M. So yeah, that's where I'm pushing it down away from the top, and the same thing on the bottom. And this does not, Dreamweaver does not always show you exactly how it's going to look, but there should be a little bit more space between this first line of text and the second one, and that would be produced by the margin bottom. Okay, and finally, book text 2 and 3. That's the second line of text and this January thing. Okay, and what I did for them is I just changed their font size. Alright, so here's what I would do. I would encourage you to study this example and see if you can get your book division to work in a similar fashion. Okay, so let me put this up where you can see it a little bit better. So if you wanted to stop the video and grab all that information, there it is, so you can look at it. Okay, and if you wanted to see what everything else looks like down here, the XHTML code, there it is. So you could stop the video and look at that as well. Okay, everyone, good luck. Hope this helps. I hope it doesn't confuse some more.